Hello Pinay Beauties! Welcome back to my channel. And yes, I do not have any makeup on because today we're going to do a comparison review between the Octard Cover Foundation and the Naturactor Cover Face Concealer Foundation. They are from the same makers, which is Meiko Japan. And I have a separate review of these foundations, and I'm going to link those down below. They say that the Octard foundation is better for people with oily skin. It's more matte, and I have super duper oily skin, so this is for me, right? Today we're just going to do a half face comparison. So for reference, my shade in Octard is S51, and for Naturactor I am in 151. As you can see, the Naturactor foundation looks more dark than the Octard one, but this is actually still light for me, so yeah. My favorite way of applying these is using a kabuki brush, and today I'm just going to use the XO Beauty Angled Top Face Brush. I'm not using any primers. I already moisturized my face about 5 minutes ago, so yeah. Let's start by applying the Octard foundation on the left side of my face.
I usually like to wet the brush when applying these, but today I'm just applying it directly. And usually, after my monthly period, my face gets better. But now it's just acting up, so I thought this is the best time to really test out with these foundations. As you can see, I am applying it thinly. These are super pigmented, by the way, and I like to apply it thinly. And if I needed more coverage, I'm just going to do a second layer.
That's what it looks like with one layer. Okay, this is definitely lighter than my skin tone. I look like a ghost. Oh my god. But let's see. So let's do a second layer.
I'm mostly applying this on the areas that really needed coverage. It's lighter than my skin tone, but it really covers well. It's the same as the Naturactor. I just find that this one applies smoother. And yeah, it's actually pretty light on the skin. The Naturactor goes on pretty thick, but not too thick. I'm just really packing this in. You can apply this with a sponge, with your fingers. I just like applying it with a brush. Please note though that they kind of have a flashback as well, so maybe that's why.
So this is what it looks like with 2 layers on, and I look scary. I'm sorry, but yep. Let's now move on to the Naturactor side.
I'm using the same brush. As I mentioned earlier, this is still lighter than my skin tone, but it matches better. I decided to get the shade S51 because I read Kikay Maria's review on this, and she said that S53, or was it S53, is darker.
So here's what it looks like. It's actually pretty close in color in the camera, but in real life, this is definitely a hint darker than the left side. So let's put the second layer on.
The way I like to apply or to use my Naturactor is under a foundation. So I'm gonna smooth it out on areas that needs more coverage, and then I apply foundation on top. I use it in very little amount just because, as I mentioned earlier, it sits pretty heavy and it feels thick on the skin.
That's what it looks like with 2 layers on, and they both look pretty white again just because of the flashback. I'm using artificial lighting, that's why. But yeah, this is the Octard side and this is the Naturactor side. Okay, so now I'm going to set a little bit with powder, just especially on the nose area, just because I wear glasses and I'm just going to work after this. And I just needed to make sure that that area doesn't crease, because I know it will crease. So I'm just using a bit of a translucent powder.
I'm just putting that on my nose, a bit on the T-zone, and here on this side just because that's where the glasses rest.
Ooh, let's do flash test. I already know this is going to be a disaster. Yep, definitely a disaster. My face looks super white. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see this, but it is currently 1:02 a.m. And yes, I'm a vampire just because I work at night. But yeah, I'm going to check back in a few hours. Hello guys, just checking back in with you. It is now 4:27 in the morning, and it's been more than 3 hours that since I applied the foundation. I don't feel oily really. I just took off my glasses, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but on the Naturactor side, you can see the mark where the nose pad of the glass is, and here it doesn't have any. I also noticed that here on the Naturactor side, it's starting to cake up in this area. I am not sure why. Maybe because I'm talking, but yeah, feels super smooth on both sides. I just get a bit more of a tacky feeling on the Naturactor side, and but yeah, I will check back again for my final update. Hi guys, so I am back for my final update. It is now 6:07 in the morning, and I'm sorry if I can't make this a little bit longer just because I really don't like having a full face of makeup on for a long time, and Trooper is already awake. We need to go downstairs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, here is my final update. I took a flash photo before I started filming again. Still whiter than my body, but it kind of changed. It kind of adapted a little bit into my skin color. As I've said, I noticed earlier that this part is caking up and it looks a bit shiny. The Octard side is shiny as well. I didn't really do any tedious activity. I'm just sitting here on my laptop working, but I sweat a lot in here and in my nose. As you can see, my nose is shiny. I resisted touching my face. My blush is still on. I just applied a light blush, but I can definitely see it here. Let's do the blotting paper test.
Let's take 2 of that. So let's start blotting the Octard side.
And that is how much oil, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but the foundation transferred a little bit.
Now let's blot the Naturactor side. The foundation is transferring a lot. Why?
So this is how much oily the Naturactor side is, and the foundation transferred a lot. So as you can see, I think they are right when they said that the Octard one is more for the oily skin, and if you have a bit of a normal to dry, definitely try the Naturactor one. Personally, I like the Octard one, not just because I have oily skin and it stays on really well, but I looked at the mirror earlier really close up, and I noticed that my pores are more filled, or they became more smaller. They became less noticeable on the Octard side than on the Naturactor side. The Naturactor side kind of actually emphasized it a little bit more. Battle of the Naturactor and Octard. I prefer Octard, even though the shade is light. I think that's the thing. If you are shade 151 in Naturactor and you find it a bit dark, then you can go for S51. But if you find the 151 is still light for you, you can try S52. So that's the shade S52. It's really up to preference. Both of them worked really well. Both of them was able to cover my imperfections. They stayed long on my face, usually when I test out foundations or when I wear foundations, I get oily 3 hours in or 4 hours in, but 5 hours with just a little blotting, my face looks good again. If you are interested in purchasing the Octard foundation or the Naturactor foundation, go check out Pretty Angel Shop on Instagram and on their Facebook page. Charlene, the owner, is a really sweet and kind girl. I'm sure you're gonna like her. Just be patient and waiting for her reply, just because she has a lot of customers. And the Octard and Naturactor foundations are authentic on her shop. I think that's it. Again, I have a separate review of these concealer foundations, and I will link those down below. Don't forget to check them out. And let me know if you like this. Thumbs up if you do. Let me know as well what other foundations or concealers or products that you would like me to do a first impression on. Please thumbs up. Please share it with your friends and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you guys on my next video. Bye!